Hi, I'm Tonya G. Tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. for The Tonya G Show. Let's talk health, politics, business, and more. Interested in being a guest? Email us at viralstreamtv.com. Streaming live on Viral Stream TV on YouTube, powered by the KPG Agency. The Tonya G Show every Sunday at 2 p.m. on BDAY 99.1. Show. I can hear myself now. Thank you guys. Today, my guest is Mr. Robert Ray. You may remember him from last week. He is an author, counselor, and therapist for over 41 years. Thank you again for being here, Mr. Ray.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be here again.
I think I'm going to have to make you a permanent co-host. You will be dropping in to help me here and there on different things. So we appreciate you for coming. Right. So we're going to get right into it. I think last week I asked you about George Floyd's murder. Tell me your thoughts on the Jacob Blake shooting.
When I saw the Jacob Blake shooting, it seemed to appear that the officers were in the wrong for shooting him in the back like that 7 times. But then when you get further into the incident and what happened, and it appears that he had already had physical contact with the officers already. See, when you have a physical contact with the officers, you are actually resisting arrest. Even if you haven't done anything, you're still resisting arrest. And it seemed like he got the better of them, which is, that happens a lot of times. And when he did, they got into these feelings and they was angry and they wasn't going to let him leave. They didn't care about his kids being in the back of the car. They didn't care about the people hollering and say, hey, that's all right, don't shoot him. But they went on and they went past where they should have been. They went to excessive force, which is shooting him in the back when he was getting in the car. And now they've got to clean it up, like he had a knife in the car on the floorboard, but they didn't know that before they shot him. So in one sense, Jacob should have adhered to what they wanted him to do. And that's what you have to do when you're a rational human being. You can't fight with the police and expect to come out on top. You can't do it.
I got you.
You have to use rationale when you're dealing with the police. So he was partly to blame for that also. And that's all you need to give the police.
Any type of ammunition.
Any type of ammunition like that. And they may walk free. They might even have to stand any punishment for that.
Well, that's nothing new. I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. Do you think cops are unjustly shooting and killing black people?
Oh, sure. They do it all of the time. I mean, this has been going on since slavery time. They would shoot a black person down and they don't have any feelings for them. Because it's just like this. If you see a roach going across the floor and you smash it, you don't think no more about that, and you don't think about he might have some little roaches at home that he's supposed to be out scouting to get food for, and
right.
They just feel like he's just like an animal. When they shot Jacob in the back, they weren't thinking about his kids in the back of the car and how was they gonna make it there. They don't have any compassion for black people.
That's unfortunate too, Mr. Ray. Speak a little bit on Breonna Taylor's murder and why you think the cops have not been, I don't even think they've been arrested or charged. And why is that?
It's because Breonna Taylor's boyfriend fired the first shot. That's all they need. And they will be getting away with it. Because even though they unloaded it excessive again, shooting in it again, they're not going to be held accountable for it.
Now, why aren't police officers typically held accountable for murder? What needs to be done to change that? But why aren't they being held accountable for what they're doing?
Because they've got the laws written that way. See, black people don't know what the perceived policy and procedure are when it comes to police enforcing the law. See, they don't know that. So when the police officer does something, he has the backing of the politicians, of the police department, and the court system, and the judges, and all of these is on his side.
Right.
Breonna Taylor don't have anything on her side. All she have on her side is a boyfriend that had a gun and fired at the police before he realized who it was. And that's all that has to take place. And when you make that mistake, they take advantage of it. And you never see that on Law and Order where they just unload on all their gun on an individual. You always see protocol. Did you go over the line? But see, when in reality, they go over the line all the time, and the court system and the police protocol supports them in doing that.
So I read an article on your Facebook page titled, "The War on Drugs Made Police More Violent, Narcotics Policy Experts Say." Would you agree with that?
Sure it does, because now you have black men with drugs, selling drugs, which is a real heinous crime in the eyes of society because of the way it break a person down and destroy the home and destroy a person down. So they feel like a person that would do that have crawled out from under a rock, and that's the way they treat them. They treat them like that. So they'll go in there and they'll beat them down and they'll shoot them and they'll try to give them 50 or 60 years in prison, which I had some of the young teenagers in my group at the prison.
Hold that thought, Mr. Ray. Don't forget, we are live streaming on YouTube at Viral Stream TV. Share the live stream link with your family and friends outside of the Jackson Metro. That's on YouTube, Viral Stream TV.
Here at the law firm of Marquise Rose, we can handle your case, whether that's in the area of personal injury or criminal defense. Give us a call at 601-709-3585 or visit us on the web at marquiserose.com. I'm ready to go to work for you. No gimmicks, just results.
Keep your hairstyle lit in 2020 with Lit Rick the Barber. Hairstyles, design, beard sculpting, and more. Book an appointment today with Lit Rick the Barber at 601-502-5581 or go see him at 5643 Highway 18, Suite B at Echelon Beauty and Barber Hair Studios.
COVID has shown us life is not promised. It does not discriminate against race, gender, or age. Do you have life insurance coverage to protect you and your loved ones? Visit thekpgagency.com or call 601-500-2751 to start your policy today. Streaming live on Viral Stream TV on YouTube, powered by the KPG Agency. The Tonya G Show every Sunday at 2 p.m. on BDAY 99.1.
You're watching Viral Stream TV.
Yes, you are tuned in to the Tonya G Show. I'm here with Mr. Robert Ray. Yes, Mr. Ray, you were speaking on the war on drugs making police more violent. Go ahead.
Yeah, because at this point in time, you have the drug dealers, and they have weapons also. They have, matter of fact, at one time, they had more sophisticated weapons than their drug police had. So that scared them. So they wasn't taking any chances. When they go out there, as soon as they get there, you probably seen them on TV. They run up in their drug place and hollering and screaming and get on the floor and all of that and ready to shoot. And if anybody even hold a gun up, they light them up with these guns. And that's why that area came where they are so violent toward these black drug dealers. And the fact that these drug dealers are not likable people. They really not. And when you have that in the mix, and then when you see how they treat the people that's addicted and how they degrade them and make them do things that's really they can't hardly recover their reputation with, that make everybody hate the drug dealers and the police. They feel justified in doing what they do. They think they are helping the black community when they do these things.
Now, do you think we need to defund the police?
No, you gotta have police. If you don't have police, then it would just be chaos everywhere. So no, you don't have to defund it. What I'm planning to do is train the police force in racism prevention and training. And once you do that and make holistic police officers out of them, then you're not gonna have all of this police brutality like you have. But I can't get them to accept it. In my hometown of Meridian, they just feel like there's no racism there. And Meridian, Mississippi is almost the poster child for racism.
Well, tell me your thoughts on the protest and the rioting that has come from the different shootings, do you think this is bringing about some change to anything, or do you think it's pointless? What are your thoughts on it?
It gives the people a way to release their feelings and anger about what took place to start the protest. But the protest itself is pointless. It's not going to do anything. I mean, we've been marching ever since Martin Luther King days, and white people still treat black people with racism, same way they did back then. They do the same thing now. It's just more sophisticated. See, they be treating you racist, but you really don't see it. Supposedly, it's kind of up under the surface, and that's what happens with today's racism. And the protests, they go out there and they march and mod, and a lot of them out there looting and out there for their own benefit.
Right.
And it doesn't bode well for the black movement and black people, because the whites look at it like Trump said, hey, they out there, we got to go get the National Guard to bring in there, to quell them down and put them back in their place. So this is, but if you've got a rationality process that you're shooting to the white people, then they don't know what to do with that. See, now you're up on their same level. We're on the same playing field. But long as you out there in the street protesting, just like the little white guy went over there and shot, came from out of town, went there and shot 2 people and killed them, and they let him go back home.
Now, why is that, Mr. Ray? Now, black people getting shot in the back and knees on the neck, but when white people seem to kill or do whatever, they get taken in. They comply, so to speak, and they take them to get food and everything. Now, why is there a difference?
The difference is that they love their race to the point where it stinks. They love their race so until it's just unbelievable. Because you can see it just automatically come out of them. They don't want to hurt their race. You can see it when they catch a white criminal. You know, they be trying to make excuses for what to do. Yeah. And you see the love that they have for their race, and the hatred they have for the black race. It just oozes out of them all the time.
Well, let me ask you this. Why does it seem that black people are not equally appalled and angered when black men shoot and kill other black men versus when white police officers kill black men? Why is there not the same intensity when we kill one another?
Now that's a very good question, and I speak on that all the time. I say, look, the white people not killing as many black men as our own black people are killing them. I say, why don't you protest that? Why don't you get out and go protest that? But see what it is, they're afraid of these black individuals that's doing this killing thing. So they won't even, if they saw them shoot somebody, they won't go down and express their rights to be a witness, because they're afraid of these young black gunmen. And so they don't want to mention their name because they fear retaliation. And black people...
Hold that thought, Mr. Ray. Don't forget to watch us streaming live on YouTube at Viral Stream TV, powered by the KPGagency.com. We help people with life insurance. Hi, I'm Tonya Gray with your Insurance Minute. When you buy a life insurance policy, you're making an agreement with an insurance company to pay a monthly premium in exchange for a payment or death benefits to your beneficiaries at the time of your death. You could purchase a life insurance policy that lasts for just a few years or for your entire life, with death benefits ranging anywhere from several $1,000s to several $1 million. If you were to die unexpectedly, will anyone in your life be financially impacted? If the answer is yes, you might want to consider a life insurance policy. Life insurance helps protect the people in your life who need you the most. Legally, your beneficiaries can use a death benefit payout any way they wish. A life insurance death benefit is meant to replace the income of the policyholder, so beneficiaries can use the payout on whatever expenses they have after the death of the policyholder. Contact the KPG agency for a free quote to start a policy today.
You're watching Viral Stream TV.
We are back live on the Tonya G Show with my guest, Mr. Robert Ray. Yes, Mr. Ray, we were speaking about black people not being as appalled when we killed each other. Go ahead.
Yeah, when young blacks kill other blacks, there are people that know who the shooter is, refuse to call the police and turn them in because they're afraid of retaliation. See, it's irrational to be afraid to express yourself with the law because that's what you're supposed to do. It's called civil law. Black people don't like to deal with civil law. They don't like to obey the rules and stuff like that. I used to do a session with the inmates in prison, and I would ask them how did they feel about civil law? You know, most of them didn't even know what it was, and the other ones that did say, well, why should we obey the law? They don't care anything about us. See, they don't love the city. They don't love the country. They don't love the United States as a whole. They really don't. So all they're looking for is to get their needs met, basic needs, you know, something to eat, something to wear, some gold, a car with big rims on it. And this is what they're geared to. I mean, no rationale coming in from their fathers and grandfathers,
Right.
you know, about the things that you love. I mean, it's irrational because it's not going to get you anywhere in life. See, and most of the time, they told me that all of that stuff they accumulated, once they got put in prison, was taken away, just disappeared.
We're gonna change gears a little bit here, Mr. Ray. Tell me your thoughts on our presidential nominees.
Well, like I've always said, Trump is a compulsive liar, and a compulsive liar is one of the worst individuals in the world, because I used to deal with compulsive liars in counseling therapy. They are the worst of the worst. I mean, because they can lie at any minute. Anything might set them off to tell a lie. If you ask them a question, they could tell the truth, but they'll lie. And this is what Trump, I see that in him every time he gets up. It can be something that just happened an hour ago, and everybody know the truth in it, and they'll ask him about it, and he'll lie about it. He'll say something entirely different. So if you got a president like that at the head of the country, see, people don't understand that the president is the brain of America. He's at the head. If his brain is warped and is not in a rational state of mind, then that flows down through all of the other people who are the arms and legs and hands and feet of America.
So you think Biden would be a better presidential candidate?
Yeah, Biden would be a better president just because of the fact that he will get things back to a normal stance. Yeah, everybody will have a chance then. He wouldn't be dividing. He would be trying to unify things. Although now he can only do so much.
Right.
See, and he's white too. He came up in a white area, in a white environment, and he don't know too much about black people either, because he made some statements that was.
Yes, he has. Now, do you think that his crime bill has contributed to mass incarceration, or more so contributed to mass incarceration of black males?
Yes, it did, because it makes it easy to put a black man in prison, and it makes him easier to keep him there for longer periods of time. See, and the fact that when they passed that crime bill, that bill was supported by the billionaire private prison, see. That's all it is. It's all a money thing. So when they passed that bill, then, hey, it's open season on all black men. Get them in that cell, get that head on that pillow so that we can make that money off of them. They're not good for anything else, so let's just make the money off of them. Put them in prison, make the money off of them. Yeah, but he should rescind that once he get in there. He should.
You think he's going to?
I don't know if he will or not, because once you get to your goal, your whole outfit can change on you.
So tell me your thoughts on the Confederate flag being taken down.
Yeah, it should have been taken down. It shouldn't have ever been put up there. See, this is why I say that when the Confederates lost the war, that flag should have been buried along with everything else that was in there. But white people love each other so until they say, well, let's let them keep the flag, but when you did that, then you divided the country. Now you got the American flag, and then you got the Confederate flag. Some people loving the Confederate flag more than they loving the American flag. So you can't worship two gods. Just that was the same thing. So that flag has been keeping the southern states divided from the northern states and divided from their black sisters and brothers.
Hold that thought, Mr. Ray. Don't forget, we are live streaming on YouTube at Viral Stream TV. Share the live stream link with your family and friends outside of the Jackson Metro. We'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for a new career that offers flexibility and endless earning potential? Explore a career in final expense. No experience necessary, health insurance benefits, residual income, and more. Now hiring agency managers and agents. Visit thekpgagency.com or call 601-500-2751 to get started today. Streaming live on Viral Stream TV on YouTube, powered by the KPG Agency. The Tonya G Show every Sunday at 2 p.m. on BDAY 99.1.
Viral Stream TV.
We are back live with the Tonya G Show with my guest, Mr. Robert Ray. We were speaking on the Confederate flag, Mr. Ray. Finish up your point there.
Yeah, I'll finish the point is that flag let black people know that they wasn't going to get a fair shake. It let them know that, hey, we still in slavery time. We got the flag there, and we're going to treat you as bad as we can do under the law, and since they control the law, then see, you don't get any justice out of it. So that flag was the uppermost flag when you went into all of the court buildings, all the federal buildings, everywhere.
State government buildings is everywhere.
And that lets you know that, hey, we're
still in charge.
Yeah, we racist, we Ku Klux Klan, we're still in charge of Mississippi. See, so that was one good thing that they did is to, hey, let's get rid of this flag, let's get a state flag for everyone.
I want to ask you this question before I go on to the pandemic. Mississippi is the largest representation of black people in legislative office. What do you think that legislators could be doing more to help progress black people further along?
They've got to get together and say, hey, let's train our young people to be more Americanized, to be able to assimilate themselves into any white society and be accepted. But this is what they're not doing. They are in there, it seems like, for themselves, to get everything they can and to enhance their family and their careers, and they don't think anything about the young people in school. They don't get up there. I don't see them really gung-ho for the students, for the black students. I don't see them trying to pass a law. I don't see them really with compassion out there saying, hey, we got to change this system. It's not working for the black kids.
Right.
You know, it's working for the white kids, but it's not working for the black kids. And I don't see them doing that. I see them just laying back in the big chairs up there, drawing their checks and whatever, and going back home to their families. It's just irrational. And I'm beginning to think that 90% of those black legislators, they don't have rationale either, because I don't see it. I really don't.
Tell me your thoughts on this pandemic, this COVID-19. What are your thoughts on that?
This is just another disease, just like pneumonia or anything else. And the issue is that this one is killing more black people. And
you believe that?
Oh, yeah, it is, because there's more black people who have all of the illnesses. They have all of the, what you call the diabetes, high blood pressure, and the thing that a disease will attack First, it's just like when a herd of wildebeest come by and the lions is looking, they're looking for the one that's crippled, the one that don't look like can get around much. See, and that's the one they'll go to attack. Same thing with a virus. It's a live thing. It will get into people, and it will go to their weakest areas in their body. And when they do that, then a lot of them don't survive. But like I always say, any disease can be cured.
Right.
And the way to do that is with the herbs and the vitamins and the way you eat. See, this is what cures all the diseases. And I just like to mention about Bozeman, the Black Panther. He died yesterday, I think, from the colon cancer.
Yeah.
And see, he had 4 years to work on that. But he didn't understand that you can't work on it with what the white people have, which is radiation, chemotherapy, and all of these type of drugs. You can't do it. But if I would have been his physician,
right,
I would have used herbs in that. Tumor dissolving herbs would have cured his colon cancer. He didn't have to die.
I agree with that. Last question here, Mr. Ray. What are your thoughts on reparations, and will American descendants of slaves ever receive it?
The reparation, they should get it. But there is not enough money in America to pay for what they did to the black African race.
Well, they can start printing up some to give it to us. So
yeah,
we'll take something.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The ones that you could have for the hours you work, they could figure that up.
I mean, they figured out for every other race that has
Japanese,
received exactly.
Yeah, all of those.
So figure it out.
Yeah, the Jews, they figured out, and they could figure out a nice lump sum here. But far as the psychological damage and all of that,
you can never pay us enough for that. Now you can never pay us
enough money to pay for that, because that's still going on now. And you throw in the Willie Lynch syndrome, which was a process that this white guy came over from the Indies and told a white slave owner, say, if you put this in place, your slaves will be divided for 300 years. And he did that. 1712.
Still going strong.
2012, still going strong. Just the black, the light skin against the dark skin, the black young against the old black, I'll say the female against the female. And it just goes on and on. And you can see it still in today's school, the bullying and all of that. It's just so sad the way that we have turned out.
We are a fractured people indeed. I think we are going to wrap up here. Let me get that outro up there, gentlemen. Don't forget to watch us streaming live on YouTube at Viral Stream TV, powered by the KPGAgency.com. We help people with life insurance. That's the KPGAgency.com. Y'all look it up for all your final expense needs. I want to thank Mr. Ray for being here this afternoon. Okay, there it is. I'd like to thank Mr. Ray for stopping by to chat with us. You can contact him on Facebook at Robert J. Ray for Governor of Mississippi, or email him at robertray@comcast.net. Music is provided by D. Scott for Real Music. That is the number 4, realmusic.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Viral Stream TV. We'll see you next time on the Tonya G Show. I have about 30 seconds here, so I'm going to fill it in. Look at here, people, the KPGAgency.com. We need final expense policies and life insurance. We need to get that in order. This COVID is not playing with us. As we've talked about, it does not discriminate against age, gender, race, but apparently it's attacking black people at a larger rate, or that's what they say. I'm not sure if I believe those numbers, but again, need to get your final expense in order, the KPGAgency.com. We'll see you next time. Bob knows it's never too early for a final expense policy to protect his son. Sue made sure that all their final expense policies are in place. Helen's final expense policy guarantees she won't be a burden to her daughter. Jane's mother's final expense policy covered her final arrangements and so much more. Your final expense policy can cover funeral services, medical bills, debt, and provide cash security. And there are no medical exams required. Call the KPG Agency at 601-500-2751
plan to set up your policy today. Hi, I'm Tonya G. Tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. for the Tonya G Show. Let's talk health, politics, business, and more. Interested in being a guest? Email us at viralstreamtv.com. Streaming live on Viral Stream TV on YouTube, powered by the KPG Agency. The Tonya G Show every Sunday at 2 p.m. on BDAY 99.1.